welcome to Sharp Dress Gaming, and today we are back with the Delta Battle League. Where has this been? Well, I haven't been uploading Delta Battle League because, first off, it's on Showdown, which I'm fine with Showdown, where you do like sessions with multiple battles being on the channel, but single battles I don't really like, so I was already kind of pushing it. And then I also had to post-commentate them because my computer's been very finicky lately. It blue screens quite often, and I didn't want it to happen in the middle of the battle. It usually blue screens when a lot of things are going on, so I'd rather just have one thing going on the screen, get the battle out of the way, and I was recording them for a while, but they just weren't doing that great. I didn't really feel great about them, so I ended up stopping doing them. But for those of you who don't know, we are actually in the playoffs for the Delta Battle League. We were barely number one in the Kalos conference, getting 6 and 7, I believe it was. I literally just looked at it, but it was a 6 and 7. I'm pretty sure. And the Kansas City Needle Kings had that same win-loss record, but we had a -1 differential while they had a -4. So we ended up winning. We literally just needed to win our last battle and we would have won the conference. So we did, and we are here at the playoffs. So we're now in the gold division. I believe that's right. Yeah, gold division against two of the Hoenn conference teams. The Lexington Larivatars, who you see on the screen right now, coached by Shiny Marinock, and I don't remember the other person from that conference. I think it's the Tampa Bay Duskblazers. I'm not entirely sure. If you guys want to check it out, the spreadsheet is linked in the description below. So if you want to do that, go right ahead. But don't do that until after battle, because you'll see spoilers on there. But anyway, we're here with week 1 for the playoffs against, like I said, Lexington Larvitars and their coach, Shiny Marinock. Link for his channel and description will be down in the comment section below. We've actually already battled him once this season, and we lost the first time, so we had to come back with a vengeance a second time. He has, you can see what he brought on the screen. He has Mega Medicham, Entei, Jolteon, Togetic, Suicune, and Dusk Noir. Now, I believe this was the same team he brought other than the Togetic, because I know he traded for Togetic. I'm not sure when he did, but I don't think he brought it in our match. I don't remember seeing Togetic, at least. But he did bring the Mega Medicham last time, and the Entei, and they were both huge problems. I'm pretty sure he brought Dusk Noir, too. But that Entei, destroyed my Mega Gardevoir, and the Medicham was a problem, so I knew I had to get ready for those two this time. So I ended up bringing Scissor with the Occa Berry. I made it so Scissor is able to live a Fire Punch from Mega Medicham, and we're able to get an attack off, add it back. And then we also have our Choice Scarf from Mamoswine, which just puts in the work all the time. Mamoswine is my boy. And then we also have Melodic with Mirror Coat. I was kind of worried about Melodic just because of Jolteon and Suicune, but Melodic can live Mega Magnetrix Thunderbolts. It's going to be living Jolteons. So I brought Mirror Coat Melodic. And Melodic just always does good when I bring it, and then every time I don't bring it, I'm like, why didn't I bring Melodic? But anyway, and then I brought max defense, max speed Mega Gardevoir, because I want Mega Gardevoir to go up against Mega Medicham. They do speed tie with each other, so hopefully he was running Adam instead of Jolly, and then I could also take a Bullet Punch like that. I believe it can also take a Poison Jab. I don't think it can, though. Mega Medicham just does so much damage. But Hyper Voice with 0 special attack can knock out Mega Medicham, no problem. So as long as we got in that position, we're going to be good. I also brought Braviary with Tailwind, so we could hopefully help Gardevoir a little bit more that way. Tailwinding Braviary with Brave Bird, Return, and Roost on carrying the Focus Sash. We also have Celebi with Thunder Wave to hopefully get a Thunder Wave off on that Medicham. It's a bulkier Celebi too with Leech Seed, Giga Drain, and Psychic. I specifically had Psychic for a Pokemon, but he didn't bring it. I don't remember what Pokemon that was, though. That's awkward. But anyway, I'm going to be playing this battle. I'm going to be stopping it. Usually I don't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. But I will be this time because there's a lot of pivotal plays that I want to explain. Hopefully I can remember. I did just play this match, so hopefully hopefully we can do this. So so I'm looking at his team, and I decide he's probably gonna lead Jolteon, so you can get that Volt switch off right away. So I'm gonna lead with the Mamoswine, so I can just Earthquake, or Freeze Dry, or Icicle Crash. I think I was planning on going for Freeze Dry had he led Jolteon, because Togetic would probably come in. So we're gonna hit play. I do lead with the Mamoswine, and he actually predicts that. And I think it's going a little too slow. There we go. He brings in the Suicune. So he automatically predicted my Mamoswine switch. I'm actually going to change this to slow instead of really slow. So hopefully it goes a little bit faster when I hit play again. But I knew instantly I can't stay in. He can either start Calm Minding on my Mamoswine, or he can Scald right away. So I'm going to switch right into Celebi. I know he's not going to Ice Beam. He doesn't really have a reason to Ice Beam, because Melodic... I'd probably bring in Melodic to take a Scald, and Ice Beam's just going to do less than that. So I'm actually going to bring in my Celebi. Even slow is slow. But yeah, I'm going to bring in the Celebi there. He's going to actually just straight up Scald. It does 9% to my especially defensive Celebi, and then I can just recover most of that back. So I'm going to... as you can see, I went straight with a Leech Seed here, because I figured even Ice Beam's not going to do that much, and if he wants to Calm Mind, I can start getting that recovery off and damage off to the Suicune. That's not going to be affected by Calm Mind. So I get my Leech Seed up, and he goes straight for the Ice Beam, and it only does 28%. So now I'm wondering if he's just going to switch out because of seeing how much that Ice Beam did and whatnot. But I figure I can still go for a Thunder Wave, because he probably won't be going into Jolteon. Even if he had, my Celebi can live a Signal Beam from Jolteon or Hidden Power Ice, so I wasn't too upset about it, and it's only Volt Absorb, it's not Lightning Rod, so even better in that case. And if I get a Thunder Wave off on a good enough Pokemon, we can get some momentum that way. So I'm just going to click Thunder Wave. He's going to switch out the Suicune, and he does go into Dusknoir, which isn't a big deal. I get a Thunder Wave off, but hopefully we can get some help through the Thunder Wave, and hopefully we can keep our Celebi around to get a Thunder Wave off later on one of the other faster Pokemon. So I'm just going to go straight for a Leech Seed here. He goes straight for the Shadow Sneak, which does hurt Celebi, so luckily he didn't go for Shadow Punch. He went for the Shadow Sneak instead, which did a considerable less amount of damage than a Shadow Punch would have. But this still did way too much for me to enjoy going up against the Dusknoir. I decide I'm going to switch out this turn, because if he Shadow Sneaks again, I'm going to switch into Braviary, who is immune to the Shadow Sneak. So I'm going to switch right into Braviary here. And Dusknoir actually switches out at the same time into the Jolteon, so probably predicted that. Very predictable play, I guess, switching into the Braviary. So I know I can't stay in against Jolteon, so I'm going to switch straight out into Mamoswine, I believe, expecting the Thunderbolt. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch out my Braviary, and he Thunderbolts, which, perfect. I'm immune to Thunderbolt. I'm like, yes, Mamoswine. I was thinking, because I can't go for Earthquake because he has Togetic, so I'm like, he's going to switch in that Togetic, so I need to go for Icicle Crash. I also have Freeze Dry in this Mamoswine, so I probably should have went for that, seeing that Suicune's still around, but I was like, he's bringing in that Togetic. So I went for the Icicle Crash. He does switch out, but brings in the Suicune. I'm like, no. So I go for Icicle Crash. It's doing close to nothing on the Suicune, 12%. And now I know I need to switch out again. And I believe... this turn, I'm like, well, I've got a fairly defensive Gardevoir. So I could go out into Gardevoir and start trying to set up on the Suicune, because he's probably expecting the Celebi and might go for Ice Beam, which will do less damage to Gardevoir than a Scald would. So I'm going to bring in my Gardevoir here, hoping that he goes for that Ice Beam, and it won't do very much to Gardevoir, but he does end up setting up the Calm Mind, which I'm not too worried about. I can just go for my own Calm Mind, which I'm going to end up doing after Mega Evolving. so that I can take whatever hit he's going for. Which he goes for Scald. It does about 24%, so I'm like, yes, that's fine. He didn't burn me, so now I can go for Hyper Voice, which can do 43%, which is really nice. But then he sets up Toxic on Gardevoir, so now my timer is ticking. But I'm just going to go for Thunderbolt here, expecting him not to switch into Jolteon, which he does not. Brings him down to 8% as he goes for another Scald. And at this point, I'm like, well, he could switch into Jolteon now, so I can just go for Hyper Voice, which either something's going to come in and take a big hit, other than the Entei, which could take a Hyper Voice fairly well, and then get an Extreme Speed off the following turn, or I can bring in the Jolteon, hoping that I go for Thunderbolt again. So I do go for Hyper Voice, and he actually just leaves Suicune in, which is a big worry off my mind, the Suicune being gone. Now he brings in the Entei, and I'm like, he's going to Extreme Speed. There's no reason for him not to. What can take an Extreme Speed? And I said, well, a lot I can take Extreme Speed, and it can also take any follow-up attacks. It can take Sacred Fire just fine. It can take, if it had Iron Head, it can take that just fine. So I'm just going to bring in my Melodic, so we can start doing some things with this. He does get a critical hit on Extreme Speed, which is rather annoying. And I'm like, well, I'm just going to recover here in case he switches into Jolteon. I don't know that he will, because he'll be probably taking a Scald if that happened. So I'm going to recover. Now, the thing is this Melodic has Citrus Berry, because I was hoping for Mirror Coat, Citrus Berry, blast Jolteon out of here. So I'm like, if he Extreme Speeds or attacks me, he's going to get my Citrus Berry to go off, and then I'll recover. So it might not be the best play to go recover, but I'm going to go for it anyway. So he does stay in Extreme Speed, which activates Citrus Berry, and then I recover, which is fine. I'm back up to 100 now, so it's like, it wasn't a big deal that Citrus Berry went away. And I'm like, well, I don't think he's going to continuously do this. I don't know why he did it in the first place. Maybe expecting me to switch back out again. But I'm just going to go for Scald this turn. It's going to hit everything fairly decently, especially this Entei, so we'll just go for Scald. He does switch the Entei out for Jolteon this time, maybe expecting another recover, and I do go for Scald. Does a nice 32%, and doesn't get the burn, unfortunately. Now I'm like, yes, this is my chance. We'll live a Thunderbolt. I can Mirror Coat him, and he'll be dead. Or if he Volt Switches, I'll kill something else. It'll be awesome. So I go for Mirror Coat here. He actually goes for Wish. I'm like, hello? Jolteon? Wish? So he's probably expecting the Mirror Coat Melodic, because I've used it multiple times. And then this turn I say, well, he's not going to Thunderbolt me in case I Mirror Coat again, because then he just waits to Wish. So I might as well Scald. Maybe he'll switch into something that I can burn, like the Medicham. So I go for Scald here. He does switch out, as you already see, but he brings in the Dusknoir. So this Scald's basically useless. It's only going to do 24%, and then Wish will heal this thing all the way back up. Now I've got to decide what I'm going to do about this Dusknoir, because Melodic cannot do anything about it. So I'm like, well, we know he has Shadow Sneak. That's the only attack we've seen. So I might as well go into Braviary, hoping that he... hopefully he doesn't have Thunder Punch, or goes for it this turn. So I'm going to bring in my Braviary here, hoping he goes for a Ghost-type move, and he actually goes for Trick. Now, as you can see on the screen, it'll go away from there soon, so it'll be over in the text, but I end up getting Choice Band from that, and he gets my Focus Sash. So no matter what he's living this turn, but now we have a Choice Banded Braviary in against a paralyzed Pokemon. So either this Pokemon's taking a massive hit, or he's bringing somebody in to take a massive hit. Now, obviously I can't go for a return against this Dusknoir, so I have to go for Brave Bird. So Jolteon could come in, but Jolteon's frail enough where Brave Bird's going to do a ton of damage to it. So I'm just going to click Brave Bird. It'll destroy almost anything that comes in. So I'm just going to go for it. He does stay in, and it brings him down to 17%. And then he actually gets paralyzed this turn. So I'm like, perfect. I'm just going to Brave Bird again, get rid of this Dusknoir. There goes another wall. The only wall he has left is that Togetic, which he ends up bringing in the Medicham. I'm like, okay, Medicham. He's going to fake me out or something. And I do end up getting faked out. I'm just going to continuously hit Brave Bird here. He actually switches out, which makes me think he doesn't have Bullet Punch, because I think Bullet Punch would have killed me at that point. So I just go for Brave Bird, brings Togekiss down to 13%, and then I can finish it off with another Brave Bird. Cool. we have all the walls all the way, so now it's just the heavy hitters. Now he brings in Entei. I know this thing has extreme speed, so I'm just going to switch right back out into Melodic again, because I want to save this Braviary, because again, I think his Medicham doesn't have Bullet Punch because he didn't go for it. So he goes for extreme speed. Melodic takes that hit, and he switches out into Jolteon on the Scald once again. And unfortunately, we do not burn this Jolteon. It would have been nice to get a burn there, but I'm just going to go for another Scald, knowing I can live a Thunderbolt. Maybe he wishes. He goes for Thunderbolt. I get the Scald off. Still no burn. So it's like, alright, well, I'd rather not just let Melodic die. I mean, it's not going to be able to do much else against the rest of his team, but if I have Death Fodder, that can be useful. So I can switch into Mamoswine here, expecting another Thunderbolt, and even if he goes for something else, I'm Choice Scarfed all at speed. We've already seen he's most likely not Choice Scarfed because of the Wish. Has he switched up moves? No, he's only used one move and then switched out, so there's still a chance that he's Choice Scarfed, or Choice Specs. So I'm going to switch my Melodic out for the Mamoswine, and he goes for another Thunderbolt, which I am immune to. So now I can just click Earthquake, and Jolteon's going to go down to that. Perfect. We got 2 Pokemon left, but these are 2 heavily offensive Pokemon that are very scary. Now the Medicham comes in. I know it's going to Fake Out, so I'm just going to switch out and let something else take a Fake Out, so Mamoswine doesn't have to. So here comes the Melodic, our Death Fodder. Bye, Melodic. I love you. You've been great this whole season. Perfect. Now I'm going to bring in the Gardevoir, because again, at this point, I'm thinking he doesn't have Bullet Punch, because he didn't use it against Braviary. So I'm just going to go straight for the Hyper Voice. He does have Bullet Punch. Kills Gardevoir. It's like, okay, well, this Medicham's already taken 2 KOs. He's down to his last 2 Pokemon. I was still at 6, so I was looking good, but now this Medicham's starting to bop a lot of Pokemon. So at this point, I'm like, it's time for Scissor. So I bring in Scissor, and I go straight for Aerial Ace. He goes for Fire Punch. I'm living that. And then I go for Aerial Ace, which has a chance to kill, but 5%. So I'm like, Scissor, you could have killed this thing. I don't know if I was max attack on my Scissor. I think I was. Actually, I made sure my Scissor could KO 0 defense Medicham, so this Medicham had some defense. That's tricky dude. Tricky. So I do go for a Bullet Punch here. I'm assuming he's going to also go for a Bullet Punch, but he actually switches out into the Entei. Best play there. I could have gone for another Aerial Ace, maybe. I would have done a lot more damage than that Bullet Punch did, but that was reasonable damage. So I'm going to go for another... actually, I don't. I go for Bug Bite here. Maybe expecting Extreme Speed. I don't know why I went for... I could have went for another Bullet Punch, got a little bit of damage off, but he goes for the Sacred Fire, which is going to knock out Scissor, obviously. And I'm just going to bring in my Braviary. I'm not entirely sure why I brought in Braviary. But he's obviously going to go for Extreme Speed, knock out the Braviary. So I'm like, alright, let's bring in Mamoswine and let's do this. So I click that Earthquake. He goes for Extreme Speed, which is going to do 44% to Mamoswine, and Earthquake knocks out Entei. Perfect. Now we're down to this 5% Medicham. Now, this Medicham can still destroy my team. I'm like, I don't know if Bullet Punch is going to take me out from here, but I know he's going to Fake Out to ensure that Bullet Punch takes me out. So I'm going to switch into Celebi to take the Fake Out, and then leave Celebi in to die to Fire Punch. And then I'll bring Mamoswine back out, and then it's all down to Arceus and what he decides is going to end up happening in this match. So, as you see here, I'll switch down to Celebi. I'll take that Focus, or Fake Out, not Focus. Take the Fake Out, and then I'll die to Fire Punch next turn. I was kind of hoping I'd live, but I knew I wouldn't. It's a Mega Medicham. They destroy everything in their path. So here it comes now. My MVP versus his MVP. Mamoswine versus Medicham. Mamoswine has to be able to take a Bullet Punch, and I went for Earthquake. I didn't want to miss. I mean, I could have went for Freeze Dry to be flashy, but I just went straight for Earthquake. No reason not to. If I had Ice Shard on this, I had Rock Slide. Why did I have Rock Slide? I had Icicle Crash. What was Rock Slide going to do? I had Rock Slide because he has a Tornadus, and then I could go for Rock Slide if it came down to Tornadus and Entei, so I wouldn't have to worry about it. But if I would have had Ice Shard, I would have guaranteed this game. Guaranteed it. Now watch what happens here. So he's obviously going for Bullet Punch. goes for a bullet punch. We live on 4%, and Mamoswine gets that earthquake off. Bam! And there we go. Round 1 of the playoffs is ours. Ladies and gentlemen, who could expect the Minnesota Wild Charge get into the playoffs in the Delta Battle League? I honestly did not think we'd get this far. I haven't been doing great this season, mostly because I've had a lot of last-minute matches where I forget what my team is. But here we are in the playoffs. We won the first match against a team that we lost against earlier this season with nothing but a 4% Mamoswine left. So had I put Ice Shard on this thing, we would be at 66% to end the game, but I think that was a little more hype-tastic, if I say so myself. So anyway, guys, thank you for the support this whole season. Hopefully you continue to support us as we go into round 2 of the playoffs. We play whoever is the other person in our division. It's the Omaha Omastars, isn't it? I think that's who we play. The Omaha Omastars. Again, it's on the spreadsheet in the description below. So if you wanna check out who we actually play next, I may be lying. Who knows? But anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this battle, be sure to hit that like button. Again, I know it's post commentary on Showdown. I'm not a fan either, but this is what has to happen until I get a new computer, which I don't plan on doing for a little bit. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Oh, if you guys want to help me get a new computer, there is a link down at the very bottom of the description for what's it called? GoFundMe. We've gotten $30 through that so far, and I plan on doing some special things with that to hopefully help raise money so we can get a new computer for the channel, and it'll be awesome. But further details on that later. Right now, focus on the Delta Battle League. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me today, and we'll see you next time. Stay sharp, everyone.
Hello everyone, and thanks for checking out the video. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to click on the links on the screen. If you haven't yet, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to see more videos as they come to your way. And if you want to go check out the GoFundMe, that'd be great too. Bye!